Back with us, remaining with us, John Heilemann and Michael Steele. John, a quick question to you about the incoming president. He takes the oath amid an impeachment, pending trial, an uncontrolled pandemic, and a cratering economy. And I don't mean to sound politically cynical. Does that buy him a little extra goodwill on top of the fact that his name isn't Trump?
Well, I think, Brian, there are two things that are simultaneously true, and you have to hold them both in your head at the same time. I think there is enormous, among a majority of Americans, there's an enormous amount of goodwill for Joe Biden coming in. People recognize the challenges he faces. In addition to all the things you just mentioned, you know, the aftermath of what happened on last Wednesday and what it represents, this chasm in our politics, in our American civic life. And for an incoming president whose fundamental campaign promise was to unite the country, I think that he has a lot of if not, it's not going to be a honeymoon, but he has a lot of goodwill from nearly some 80 million Americans. But the chasm is still there, and the challenge he faces, the hill he has to climb, is not just steep. I think it is close to perpendicular. So the two things exist side by side. He will have a lot of political capital to spend, but man, there is a lot of things that it needs to be spent on because the challenges are vast.
Mm-hmm. Michael Steele, any worries about a cornered president whose phone has been rendered mute, who, after all the business he was in before the presidency, was the licensing of his name? There's no boardroom because there's no board. Trump Construction doesn't have a shovel. It's a licensing operation.
Yeah, yeah, imagine that. The reality of Donald Trump changes dramatically at 12 o'clock noon on Wednesday next week, because as John just put out, that the incoming president has a lot of capital, but he has a lot of things to spend it on. Trump has no capital and a lot of bills he's got to pay. And so the reality of it is, where does he go? Which is why he grifts. He's going to grift off to the RNC. He's going to create a media platform in which there will be more grifting occurring there. People have already spent $150 million to help him, win an election that he lost after the fact. So, he knows he can get the cash. The question is, those other forces that go past the branding, don't give a damn about his licensing abilities, and say, you owe us, the state of New York, individuals outside of the state or around the country. So there's a very complex set of landmines waiting for Donald Trump come next Wednesday. And I just say, have at him.
Our thanks to these two gentlemen, to John Heilemann and to Coach Steele. There's a good reason Leslie Jones has fallen hard for our friend Michael Steele and inferred upon him the nickname Coach and invited him on Twitter today to text her. I mean, that's pretty special. Gentlemen, thank you.